This is problem number 1 from the section 5X quiz. It says use the compound interest formula to compute the total amount and the interest earned on this investment. And the investment is $7,000 for 7 months at 3% compounded monthly. So that tells us that the principal is $7,000. The time has to be given in years, as you remember, so it's 7/12 of a year. 3% is 0.03, so that's R, little r. And compounded monthly means M is equal to 12. So to calculate the amount of interest, the total amount in the account, which is the future value or compound amount, your calculation would be 7,000 times the quantity, 1 plus 0.03 divided by 12 raised to the power of M, which is 12, times T, which is 7/12. Now, in some problems where this doesn't come out so nice, you might actually want to change 7/12 to a decimal, but if you do and it doesn't come out even, carry it out to lots of decimal places so you don't lose accuracy. But what you'll actually notice here is that the 12s will cancel and you just get an exponent of 7, which is very nice. So you end up with 7,000 times the quantity 1 plus, and when you take 0.03 and divide it by 12, now I don't think you need any help with that on the calculator, but I will do it just for completeness. If you take 0.03 divided by 12, my calculator shows it as 2.5 with an exponent of -3, and that means 2.5 with the decimal place moved 3 places to the left. That's what this negative exponent, that negative 3 up top, means in the exponent position. That's just a way of writing that, and you need to know how to interpret that. So that's really 0.0025. The decimal was between the 2 and the 5 to start with, and that -3 means 1, 2, 3, move it 3 places to the left. And then that entire quantity is raised to the 7th power. So what you really have here is 7,000 times 1.0025 when you add these two together, raised to the 7th power. Now I have to take 1.0025 and actually raise it to the 7th power. So let's clear this. So I put in 1.0025. The power button is this x to the y. Then the power is 7, and then equal. So what I end up with is this 1.01763178. Now you can leave that number in the calculator, but if you are going to write it down for some strange reason and don't want to leave it in the calculator, you do want to take a lot of decimal places because you're going to end up losing your accuracy to the cents place if you don't. So in reality, I'm going to leave that number in the calculator. But had I not, I would have still written down a lot more decimal places than I think I might even need, because by the time I multiply it by 7,000, I want it to be correct to the nearest cent. So I simply take the number that I have in the calculator now and multiply it by 7,000. So I hit times 7,000 equals, and that gives me $7,123.42 rounded to the nearest cent. So $7,123.42. That's the amount of money in the account after 7 months. But it also asks us for the amount of interest. Well, the interest earned is simply the difference between what's in the account at the end and what you started with. So the total amount of interest is simply the A value, that's the future value or the compound amount, minus what you started with, which is the principal. So you'd end up with the calculation $7,123.42 minus what we started with, which was $7,000, that's the principal. So that the amount of interest, when all is said and done, this account interest actually earned, if you do that subtraction, and that's actually so easy you could do it in your head, $123.42. So that account in 7 months earned $123.42 in interest.